We want to cut through the noise of local media, and we want to make sure that BBC will be this safe place to understand the news rather than only just learn about the news. So we actually are spending much more editorial time on explaining why things are happening and what it means to people rather than just saying what has happened. They're all important. I'm not saying that Amuse Me needs to be more important than Update Me, of course not, and it's not about making sure that your 100% of your output is equally balanced between the six. It's not about, doing 15% of each. It's just not about that. It's just mainly alerting the editors to the fact that people are not just only expecting to learn about what has happened. In some parts of the world we have to provide news as if we are a national broadcaster, just because the people just don't have access to news, like we're talking about Somalia, Afghanistan, Iran, those types of things. But in the countries where we are growing, where there is a lot of news, we actually need to take a stand and say, actually, BBC will be making sense of the world for you.
The key piece, I think, for BuzzFeed is everything that we do, whether it's launching in a new country or just publishing an article. We believe really strongly in that feedback loop of saying, now that it's out in the world and it's launched, how is it performing? What are we learning? Identifying the key metrics for it. And then the next time around, doing things like adjusting slightly and saying, our launch strategy wasn't good, we did bad press, we need to adjust that, or we hired the wrong people, or on the content level, this piece of content didn't perform like we thought it would. No one wanted to read it, or they were leaving very angry comments, and feeding that back into the next time around. A list of cat videos, the potential audience for that is massive. The potential audience for, a look at some legislative process in the U.S. is much, much smaller. But I think we try and keep that in mind when we think about the relative size of those two audiences. And if we feel like we're reaching a good number of the potential people who would be interested on the more, straight-ahead news, then that feels like a real success.